This is Emily Apple, a single mum from Cornwall. This footage was filmed by police surveillance officers. They were monitoring activists last year at a protest against the Kings North power station in Kent. When Emily asked a police officer to identify himself, she was pinned to the ground, handcuffed and arrested.
I had a notebook and I was writing down police officers' numbers, what they were doing, and the two people I was with were taking photographs. And this officer didn't have any identifiable number on his lapel. And so I asked him to identify himself, and he refused.
What are your numbers? Well, you do actually have to tell me if someone requests your number, member of the public requests your number, you do have to give your number.
I called my friend over and I said, please can we get a photograph of this officer? He's refusing to identify himself and I'd like to make a complaint at a later stage.
I'd like to picture this officer so I can
wanting to leave on that.
Yes, I am. I just want to...
Next female, please. You want to make your way down
getting
there?
his West Yorkshire Police no number.
The first shot she tried to take was blocked by the officer, and then when she went to take a second shot, she was grabbed and bundled across the road. Within seconds, myself and my other friend were also on the floor being restrained. This one bloke had his hands round the neck of one of my friends.
On my throat! Camera recording.
And then he sort of came to me and sort of pushed my head down. When he stood me up, he put his hands around my neck and he's showing my face to the camera, and then he sort of pressure points me in the neck.
What? What?
And it was very, very sudden, sort of very violent and aggressive.
Emily's photographer, who was also arrested, was Val Swain, a mother of 3 from Cardiff.
I was literally grabbed and dragged across the road. I was pushed down on the floor. They were, they were quite aggressive and I think quite caused me a fair bit of discomfort.
Jesus Christ, you bastard, get off it!
What?
My fucking foot!
I'm not on your foot.
You are on my foot!
Stop kicking at us.
Can you come and photograph him stabbing on my foot? Can you come and do that?
The entire arrest is being videoed, as you can see.
Arrest for what? Taking a photograph?
Obstructing officers.
Obstructing officers how?
Oh,
You have no right to grab people from inside the climate camp and drag them out here and do this. That is completely outside your remit.
Emily and Val are members of FitWatch, a group opposed to police surveillance units, known as Forward Intelligence Teams.
Our purpose of being there was to document what was going on. We take photographs of the Forward Intelligence Team, we watch the watchers, we turn the tables on them, and we take photographs of them as they take photographs of us. Now, we went to Kings North because we knew from previous experiences of climate camps that the police were very keen to document who went to them.
As the surveillance footage shows, Emily and Val were immediately identified by police as being members of FitWatch.
Anyone else waiting?
The police officers are here about filming everybody else.
Okay.
Right,
Got FitWatch people now coming out of the camp.
I think they knew who we were and they didn't want us monitoring them. They didn't want any accountability for what they were doing, and they just wanted to get us out the way.
They restrained me through handcuffs and also these restraint belts that they wrapped around my legs, so that in the end I was lying face down in the dust of the road, completely unable to move, and then thrown in the back of the van and taken to a police station.
Oh, is this transport vehicle? Can you put your two transport vehicles here? Transport vehicles here. We'll keep it there anyway.
All this pain is so I don't hurt myself, is it?
Why are you body cocking that woman? Is that really necessary?
On 3. 1, 2, 3, left. Officer clear.
Okay, all clear.
At the police station, I was charged with obstruction of a police officer and refused bail. They didn't let me speak to my solicitor when I was refused bail. I didn't get to speak to her till the following morning when it was too late for her to arrange representation.
Well, after we was arrested, we ended up being held for 4 days in total, 3 of which were in Bronzefield Women's Prison.
You know, it's horrible being sent to prison. You know, I've got my son at the time was 4, and you know I was expected to be home to look after him, and I hadn't planned on doing anything really at Climate Camp other than monitoring what was happening with the policing, and I certainly hadn't expected to be remanded for anything.
All charges were later dropped against Emily and Val. The pair have complained to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, and investigators will review this footage as evidence.
I think they've got away with this kind of policing across the board for far too long, and we've let them get away with it. And through whatever ways we can, we're now trying to do something to hold them to account.